Well, morning, everyone. I'm here in the French Quarter in New Orleans. Well, not really. I'm against a green screen right now. But if I was in the French Quarter, this is where I'd be. Because right down the street there is where they make the pralines in the French Quarter on Decatur Street. And man, that is so good, especially when they're fresh. So today, we figured, it's the holidays, right? Let's go ahead and make some pralines that you can share with your guests, or if you're going to a party, or maybe just for yourself. But whatever the case, we got your recipe right here. Stick around. I'm looking forward to the show with you. There we go. Yeah, hey there, everybody. Let me go ahead and bring David in here. All right. So welcome through the magic of the internet and pre-recording. I did that earlier this morning. Obviously, I'm back in Seattle already. Alaska's got some amazingly fast airplanes nowadays. So here I am. And today we're going to talk about pralines, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show. This is a confectionery that has a long, long history that we're going to dive into first this morning. And then we'll go into discussing how to make them for yourself. And we'll look at David's recipes. We'll look at my recipes, and we'll just kind of hash things out and see who's happy with their results. And then we'll go into the after show. Remember, we have the after show today. We'll be talking a little bit more about the praline episode, and then that's immediately following on YouTube and on Facebook. So I'm looking forward to having everybody there. With that said, let's go ahead and bring in David here. There he is.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
All right.
Can you hear me good?
Well, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. I see you got the nice little tiles like we're down in the French Quarter.
Oh, yeah. Well, these are...
my lights went out.
Got to pay that electric bill.
Yeah, it's a loose wiring on my lighting system here that I thought I had corrected, but apparently not. So
Well,
I may have to turn the overhead lights on.
Yeah, that's fine. You do what you got to do. It's no big deal. This is live after all, so we'll let you slide this time.
All right, just keep going. I'll get it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. You know what? There you go. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, you're there.
Yeah.
All right. So I did some research this morning because one of the things that I didn't really know about in any real great detail was the history of the praline, where it came from, how long ago it came to be, and the way that it evolved in New Orleans culture. Now, there's a lot of people, we'll just get this, out there and taken care of right away. It's praline, okay? Right. If you're in New Orleans and you say praline, nothing screams tourist more than saying praline instead of praline. And I hate to harp on this because I'm really not that militant about this kind of stuff, but this is kind of like nails on a chalkboard. It's just when you hear praline, and it's funny because I did look that up. I wanted to see what the official response was on what is a praline and what is a praline and who pronounces it, how and where and why. And turns out that New Orleans and the Gulf South is predominantly where it's called praline. But you start going even west to Texas or a little bit north and east of you in Georgia, and they say praline. So I don't know where things got mixed up along the way, but it's. Do you have any sense of this? I don't.
No, I mean, like I said earlier in one of the episodes, that Astrid calls them pralines for whatever reason. Now she's from Germany originally, right. And I don't know whether her Mississippi step grandparents called it that or whatever, but I've tried to encourage the preferred pronunciation. At least she says pecans and not pecans. So we don't want any pecan pralines in the house. But
Oh
no,
my
I'm kind
God.
of. I was reading some of the stuff too, and I think that there's also maybe even a little with the history. It's so popular, the praline is,
Yeah.
that it's. I mean, especially in the South, that a lot of maybe other Southern states even claim, the originality or the original or the what do you call it? Not the original, but be the source for where they came into the country.
Right.
I think Texas and maybe even like Savannah, Georgia might
Yep.
have some claims.
Yep.
But,
But if you look at the history, at least the way that I read it, it is distinctly, well, it originated in France, according to folklore, and then it kind of found its way also through. I'm not sure if it was something that was also developed around the same time in the Caribbean, or if it was, if there was some marriage of the two different styles, the French and then the Caribbean, and that became the Creole style that we have in New Orleans. I'm not entirely sure. It's not very clear to me in the what I see here.
Did you? So what I had read was that it was brought over. Yeah, it was from France.
Right.
It was somebody, I can't really remember how to pronounce his full name, but
Yeah,
one of his titles was like of the town of Praline, but it was spelled a little different. And it was either he made it or it was made for him, and it actually contained almonds over there.
Right. Correct. And
So
they get
came
they get to Louisiana. It's like, we need your almonds. It's like, what did you call me? We don't have no stinking almonds here, buddy. So they had to come up with the pecan as a substitute, right?
Yeah, and I had, and you probably read it too. They give credit to the Ursuline nuns,
right,
who arrived in the 1720s. As
the casket girls is what they call them.
The casket girls and all that. So possibly being one of the originators of bringing this candy over,
right?
This confectionery, as you called it,
right. And the interesting thing about this dish and the way that it's you can look at the history and you can see how it's evolved, and a lot of the things is like they're talking about some of the street vendors selling pralines are difficult to find nowadays, but apparently that was something that was very common back in the 1930s.
Yep.
That's where you could get pralines, was on the the streets of the French Quarter, right?
I think it went even further back to the 1850s and 60s. I think mostly free women of color were the ones credited with being the what do they call them, pralineers, something like that.
Yes, pralineers. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That's kind of a interesting distinction. Does that mean that the people that work at like Leah's are pralineers, or are those the sales folks?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. It's but it says here, New Orleans pronunciation is praline, while the nut most commonly used in it is pronounced pecan. Yep. Mispronounce them to a local if you want to hear a rude joke about pecan. But that said, I'll get off my high horse there. But I did think that was kind of funny that they were rolling this all in together. But as it exists today, it's a very common dish to have at parties. Around Christmas time seems to be a little bit more. I don't know. I feel like you find them more at parties. You find them, when you go to the family get together for Christmas, somebody inevitably makes pralines, and I don't know. I mean, I don't really think of them as seasonal, but it sounds to me like at least around this time of year, which is one of the reasons why we're doing the show this time,
right,
is because it is very much something that you can bring to parties, have at your own party. Yeah, it's so easy to make.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, I think part of the reason, and maybe it's lost like a lot of things that were seasonal at one point due to the ingredients. Maybe it was seasonal due to the fact that the humidity can be a problem when trying to get them to set.
right,
Uh, because I think if it's too humid, and especially in the days prior to air conditioning, they have probably had trouble. I think a lot of places will use a cold marble slab
right,
countertop
right.
to get them to help out. But if anybody's been to New Orleans in the summertime, well, basically from what May until October, it's pretty much hot and humid.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
And the same for here in Mobile.
yeah, right, exactly. And I don't know what people in Seattle would do if there was any real humidity here. They lose their minds off of just having heat because nobody has air condition up here, or very few people
wow.
have air condition up here. So when it gets hot, I mean, you are sheets off, trying to figure out a way to convect cool air through, and you get it. But going back to the pralines, there was actually an interesting joke in one of these historical records that I read that said, don't worry about the pralines melting because they are cooked at 230 degrees, 240 degrees. So
Yeah.
New Orleans never gets that hot. It gets hot, but it doesn't get that hot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it feels like it, but it doesn't get that hot.
right. So I think it'd probably be more of a component of humidity than anything else. Just because of the way that the quickness in which it sets. It's a lot like well, you'll see the videos, but it's a lot like concrete. I mean, it's faster than concrete even. Once it sets, it is like, man, it's like when you get that sugar coating on the inside of the pot, and that's going to go to waste. It's not going to end up in a praline. You start licking it and you burn the crap out of your tongue because that's still hot. And I speak from experience, and my tongue is still recovering from yesterday. But man,
I thought about that this morning when I was about to do the same thing.
You made a good choice. You chose wisely.
Yeah.
But
I was sitting there thinking too, talking about the seasonality.
Yeah.
Thinking about when the availability of pecans and sugar. So right now is grinding season, and so they'll be grinding. And don't remember, to the extent, I'm sure modern times that the sugar is being readily available.
Right.
But one of the components we used, I was wondering about today, how would they have used in the 1700s, which will, when you get to talking about it, we can bring that up again. But so, sugar would have been, I don't know how accessible once it's ground and granulated. They used to put them in like little cones, so they were almost like a praline the way they came out, when they solidified them. But then pecans, I think, are, gosh, I think that they're coming around this time too, because my mom's got pecan trees at her house, and a lot of the pecans are on the ground. So it could be that, it could culminate where I would think from Christmas through Mardi Gras, pralines are popular.
Yep. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of praline, like even the king cakes, which we'll get into next year during carnival season. There's the praline toppings that they have now for the king cakes, which I think are well, I don't want to get into that because that's a whole nother subject. I could talk about that for hours. So one of the things that we did in this episode is we decided to go with Mom and Papa's mix, and the still got the beignets on the mind. The pralines that you can make, the recipe itself is actually very, very simple. It's just a few ingredients, and it's more of a function of temperature and making sure that everything is mixed down and liquefied correctly, and then cooked at the right temperature, and then you add your pecans, and then boom, you're done. It's literally white sugar, brown sugar, a little bit of salt, and then some people like to put in vanilla extract, put that in, and then pecans. And that's the extent of it. And the pecans don't go in until the very end. So
I'm laughing right now because I'm getting a message from Nancy Wilson, the woman who created the Man Papal brand.
Oh, really?
She was actually, I think she just saw the gumbo one we did, and then she was sending me a video message. So hopefully maybe she'll tune in. And,
yeah, she should tune in.
Yeah,
I'll send her the link if she wants to hop in, and we could have her on if she's in a place to do it. Otherwise, we'll get her on the show at some point, because we got I got her bread pudding, and I also got the okra gumbo, because I'm gonna do okra, and for tomorrow for Christmas Eve, I'm gonna do chicken sausage boudin gumbo, or turkey sausage boudin gumbo, and then I'm also doing shrimp. Crab meat is ridiculous up here.
No,
a little,
not much better here, I'm sure. How much is it up there?
$24 for a half pint.
Okay, it's about $10, $11 more than down here.
Yeah, that's insane.
Lump. Is that lump or
it's lump? Yeah. So sorry, kids. Maybe if we get some crab meat sponsors for the show, we'll have access to some more. But in the meantime, it is going to be land-lubbing creatures and maybe some shrimp, because there's a lot of those around. And crawfish season's not too far away too. But anyway,
right.
And that's a whole nother thing.
I'm just trying to message her. I'm on a podcast talking about your pralines.
Yeah, you should. You should. That's what.
See if we get any on Facebook. Maybe she'll find it.
Well, that's cool. Okay. So you can message her, and I will talk. And so David and I, like I said, we used the Mom Papal's praline mix. Now, the reason why we did it, well, number one, for you guys out there making your own, if you don't have brown sugar, or if you don't have vanilla extract, or if even you're gonna have salt, and you probably have white sugar, but everything's prepackaged, it's pre-measured, it's ready to go, so you don't have to do anything. You follow the quantities on the back of the box, and it nets you X number of pralines. I think I got 8 or 9 off of a batch, somewhere around there, and I was making pretty good size ones.
Mine, I got, well, you can see I kind of, that's about the size.
It looks like an animal cracker from here. You flip it over, you can see the pecan part.
Yeah, that's true. The backside.
Yeah, there you go. That doesn't look like an animal cracker.
And so, the box I think says 10 to 12. And,
I think that's a smaller size,
Yeah. And they recommended a 2-ounce spoon, and I was trying to think of a two. What do I have that was a 2-ounce spoon? Because I looked at like an ice cream scoop.
Yeah.
And it seemed like at least the one I have was a little too small. And then a ladle, one of them I had was too big. And I think y'all use, you tell me what you used. I ended up with just a big spoon to make those a little smaller.
I used a ladle. And that's probably why mine turned out as big as they did. And I only got 8 or 9 off of each batch. I did 2 batches yesterday. But I mean, they look good. They taste good. I mean, there's, what can I say? They're just, they're pralines. It's, a lot of people are like, well, how do I make these? And, you don't you don't have to stress out about this. It's not hard. And the best part about it is that it's the kind of recipe, unlike most baking recipes, it's the kind of recipe where you can scale it. So if you want double the batch size, you double your ingredients, right? And you just have to be cognizant of the fact that once that sugar pecan mixture starts to set, you can't have too much hanging out in the pot, because it will start to solidify, and then getting that out is a massive undertaking, and it's probably going to result in very ugly looking pralines. So, and part of this, and I saw Phil's video that you sent me, David. I actually took a snippet of that. I'll play it at the end of the show. It's kind of funny talking about men in the kitchen. It's funny. But yeah, I mean, it's an easy recipe, but having that box, like same thing. Went to World Market, they had it. A lot of other places carry. Mom Papa's is everywhere, and I gotta say that I've not had a bad experience with any of their mixtures yet. I mean, I've tried. Well, right now I've tried the gumbo and the pralines, but like I said, I have the bread pudding that I want to do, and then I also want to do the okra gumbo. So I'm really curious to see how those will turn out. But for me up here, I don't need to worry about a lot of the details as far as producing a good product. I just dump it in a pot, mix it up, and away it goes. And it's not like you're really not cheating. It is authentic ingredients, but you're just not mixing them yourself. You've got, 60% of the work done for you. And
if you look on this side with the ingredients on there, I mean, it's all, I don't think I saw anything artificial. I think it was all the white sugar and of course I didn't have my glasses on to read them properly, but when I held it out, it looked like it was all the natural ingredients like you would do. And then you add the other natural ingredients to the liquids to it.
Right. And, I did pecans from Waterproof, Louisiana. There is a town in Louisiana called Waterproof. And I thought they turned out great. My mother tends to, when she comes in, she will, when she comes to visit, she will bring loads of pecans. And, I can only make so many pralines before I start losing my girlish figure. And so I end up having to sit on them for a while. And so one of the things that I plan to experiment with is, and this is something that I brought up with you yesterday, David, is toasting the pecans just a tad to express those oils a little bit. To me, the pralines that I made taste just like what I remember. So I'm not, I don't feel that they're bad, but comment from the missus was, it kind of tastes a little old. And I'm like, well, okay, well, I'll eat them then. I'll take one for the team. I'm totally fine with it. But, it's kind of funny that, that was the one thing that she brought up is not really necessarily tasting right, but
but once again, that's not the mix. That's your pecan.
That's a pecan
in her opinion.
Yes, correct. I mean, I tasted the pecans; they tasted fine to me.
I know mine were fresh because the guy that we got them from had just told my wife that his family shelled them. They got them out of Georgia, and they were freshly shelled about right before Thanksgiving.
Oh wow!
And
okay.
So to your point too, I thought what I did is I actually toasted them lightly, just to see. And I'm talking maybe 2 minutes on like a medium toast.
Yeah.
And I've only I haven't sampled a full one all together with everything because, like you were saying, after I let the pot cool, I kind of licked the spoon and chipped off the other stuff, and I might have had one pecan with it.
Yeah.
But that gave me a lot of energy this morning when I was making it. for a while.
It's a lot of sugar, man. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. You come down. A sugar coma is.
Yeah.
I mean, you just think about eating these at your family's Christmas get together, and inevitably there's the cherry bounce or some kind of cocktail beverage. Our uncle, more sugar, and we had a mutual uncle that he liked making old fashions, and this was before you and I were legally able to drink. But I remember the men, eating pralines and drinking old fashions, and next thing you know, they are out. They're out. They're all sleeping in the game room, and it's the real deal, man. It's like you hit that wall really quick. But anyway, we should get to the videos now. You did. This is your turnout, right? These are these are 4-5 pralines that you did here.
Yeah, about 5. I finished didn't turn out quite like I had hoped. It's a little speckled. Part of the problem is that as I was doing it, I think part of the problem is that I did not read the simple ingredients or simple instructions well enough, and I was trying to film at the same time.
Yeah.
So I may have stirred too much during the boiling phase. So what I ended up deciding to do, what I think that might have attributed somewhat to the finished look there. But taste-wise and consistency, it's just like you. It's like pralines I remember growing up.
Yeah. And then this is you making them, and I love the way that you introduce the product that we're making it with, because I often don't do this, or I'll get like bits and pieces of it because I'm more artsy fartsy type thing. But you lay it all out and you make it look nice and pretty. There's the bag of goods, and
I mean that's all that's in that bag.
Yep, that's it. And you put in some evaporated milk. Oh, that was one thing I forgot to mention earlier. Was you have to have evaporated milk.
Yeah, that's the ingredient I wonder about from the old days, but we can talk about that after the videos.
Yeah. You heat this up, you stir the mixture together, and then you eventually this will all melt down and it'll come to a boil. And then once you can see right now, for instance, you can see the granularity, and then just a little bit later, you can see how everything's kind of melted together and it's more liquefied at this point.
It's almost like stirring a roux.
Yeah, it is. And there's the pecans going in. Now, did you use whole halves or did you have halves?
Yeah, I used whole halves.
Whole halves, yeah. I decided to break mine up just a little bit, but I had halves. That's what I started with. I just kind of crushed them out, and I did that, and I showed it in the video. But you can see that, there you go, right there. I mean, it sets up real quick. That was probably mere minutes after you put them down there.
So and the you bring it to a boil for a minute, and then you boil it for 3 minutes, and then you stir it for 3 minutes. I'm sorry, after you take it for that full boil. But the heat up part takes a little time.
Yes,
and that's you want to go slow enough on that.
Yes,
and that's probably about 10 minutes.
Right,
to get to that point.
Right, and then here's mine, and same thing. I did. I laid everything out. Same mix, all that other stuff. The evaporated milk was something that I found locally at the grocery store. Apparently, evaporated milk around the holidays is dirt cheap, because I think that was like a 39 or 49 cent can of evaporated milk. And the Land O'Lakes without the Indian gal on the boat, on the canoe. And then here's our pecan halves from Waterproof. And then this is my thermometer. This is from a company called ThermoWorks. And I've used these, and I'll talk more about those later, but it's an instant read thermometer that is great as a candy thermometer if you're trying to achieve a certain temperature.
And I was trying to actually do that too with my wife's candy thermometer, but the amount that I was making wasn't enough that it registered. But I should have taken, like you did, and put the like either a meat probe or something. Oh, I see you got the Melitoss shirt on too.
Yes, I did.
But yeah, so that's so right now they look very much, and they should, because it's the same recipe and same ingredients that we're doing.
Yep. Same stuff, and you can see the granularity there, and then eventually it starts to liquefy, and it starts to bubble up here. This is not technically boiling yet. Boiling is when it really starts to foam up and sort of rise in the pot. And then so what I did here is just old school crush the pecans, just to break them up a little bit. And that was about, believe it or not, that was a cup's worth of pecans. So if I would quarter the pecans. I didn't want to go with, like tiny chunks, but that's a boil. And you can see there's my thermometer. That's a Thermopen, and I really like this. I've used it for grilling. I used it in the brewery when we had the brewery. Mm-hmm. It's super accurate, and it keeps me right where I need to be. And then I just added
and that's an excellent point right there.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But that temperature, that's where you want to be. That 230 to 240 is what I read.
Yep. Yeah, and Chef Jeremy at Homa's house just did his yesterday. I think he recommended 240.
Yeah. The the instructions actually don't call for you to need a thermometer, but it doesn't hurt to have it as a backup.
Yep. I got to do this because I had I sped it up.
Very nice.
To get that stupid song on my soundboard was a ridiculous amount of work. Okay. Just that should have had its own soundtrack. But you see, that's the final product. They've got a nice sheen to them. They're a little bit darker. And they don't have the kind of the speckled look to them. But same. The difference was you stirred, with the pecans in, and I let it, actually, no.
I stirred before the pecans.
You stirred before the pecans
during the boiling, and I should not have done that.
Yeah, you let it sit and boil for a minute, and then you dump in your pecans, and then you're 3 minutes stirring it up. Right. So,
boys and girls, just to show what happens when you don't follow the directions. But like I said, they still taste fine. And this is the first time I've technically ever made pralines. And
really,
the only other time Astrid made some for her sister's wedding as what do they call it? Not to go or gifts, like the things at the end of the wedding, people giving things out.
Favors.
She made, was
that favors?
Favors, that's right. She made praline favors. This would have been October of 12, 13 years ago, something like that. And she was in the kitchen for about 3 or 4 days. She had a couple of batches that did not look right, and so she tossed them. So that was my gain, was their loss. But but anyway, so it is. It does take. Like I said, this makes it a lot easier. Just follow the directions and don't do like I do. Don't get in a hurry. Like I said, I'll blame it also on me trying to film with one hand and looking and then realizing, oh crap, I should have been just doing one.
I should have bought you a tripod for Christmas.
Oh, I got the tripod. I was trying to get a different angle, and I was stirring and all that. But anyway, that's, like I said, lesson learned, kids.
Lesson learned. And I do have some tips here. Let's see. All right. So this is going to help you achieve the results that you want. Fresh Louisiana pecan halves. Now, to be honest, any place that has fresh pecans, you can, if you can get halves, I would do that. I would not get like crushed pecans or anything where the pecans themselves are exposed to the air, and then the oils in the pecans oxidize. You don't want that. You want that pecan flavor in the praline. Evaporated milk, not condensed milk. There's a difference. Evaporated milk. And then the precision thermometer. That the ThermaPen that I use, it's nice because it picks up. You pick it up. It's got a little motion sensor on it, and it knows if you're holding it upright or sideways, kind of like an iPhone or something like that. So the display will change based on the angle you're holding it. It'll light up. It's great for when I'm grilling it at outside at nighttime or in the evening hours. But and I did put a link in the description, so you can go directly to their website. And I believe they have some. They're not sponsoring this, by the way. I really like their products. They have a Christmas special going on right now. And even though it's 2 days before Christmas, you'll get it after more than likely, but it's a chance. I think it's 20% off because they're not the cheapest thermometers out there, but they're very versatile. And like I said, I used it to yesterday's cook of the pralines, and then I used it we just doing the beignets when we were heating the oil up and getting the right temperature on the oil last weekend. So, and then the other thing was, after that boil and you start stirring in your pecans, 3 minutes. That's what the box calls for. 3 minutes. Just run with that and you can't go wrong. Have some parchment paper around, or like David had some aluminum foil. Was that greased on one side, or is that just aluminum foil?
No, that's just it. Well, it's just it as is.
Okay.
Just the shiny side was up.
Right, the shiny side. Okay.
And that's what it called for on the box. It was either aluminum or parchment.
Yeah. So I had some parchment laying around. I'm not sure why. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's go back. There we go. So, and then this is something that I just learned about, is that if you pull from the heat a little early, the pralines will be a little bit shinier, and if you let it sit a little bit longer, and when I say longer or shorter, we're talking maybe 30 seconds in either direction, they'll be duller. They'll be more dull. Duller, I don't know if that's a word, but whatever. If I'm playing Scrabble, it's going to be a word. So this is really the tips that you need to create great pralines. And then I've got mine right here, and you can see. Let's see. There's my hand. I can probably zoom in a little bit there. Yeah, let me zoom in. Oops, that's the wrong camera. I'm zooming in on my other camera in the studio. It's like, I'm going, why isn't it moving? Oops, that's the wrong way, Jeremy. There we go. So you can see here the texture of them. There's a lot of pecans. I mean, this is a pound of pecans in 8. I think this batch was 8 pralines, so they're loaded with pecans.
Yeah,
and you can see they're really, this one. This is set overnight, and they'll last if you keep them in an airtight container. These guys will last for a while. I mean, not forever, but they'll last for a while. It's best to consume them fresh within a couple of days of making them, of course. This one does have some shine, does have some sheen to it. It also has some interesting variations. You can see the lighter colors along the top and the deeper, darker colors, in between the pecan halves. This is just the way this one's set up. And actually, I think pretty much all of these are like that.
I mean, once again, they're not anything that's wrong with it. Just like you pointed out, just depending upon where it is in the when you pull it off the stove.
That's right.
And I guess I hadn't thought about this till I was just watching it, but Grandma made these a lot at Christmas time, didn't she?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, I guess I just had this memory from 30, 40 years ago about that. Just seeing them, I guess, with the like you're talking about, especially when you break them in half and the granularity and the pecans, and the I was going to also say that I was doing some other reading on these in the past that while we're doing it with pecans, there are actually another variety
Oh yeah.
of style. And have you ever had the other ones? Or do
Uh,
you know what I'm going to
I
talk
I
about?
had um I had one where they put rum in the mixture, and of course the alcohol
Interesting.
boils off during that boiling phase. So what you're
Hmm.
left with is the rum flavoring. So it was a rum
Okay.
pecan praline. It was fantastic.
I would think it
Really
would
good.
complement it since it's a sugar-based product to begin
Yes.
with there too.
Yep. Yep.
Um, some of the older recipes I've seen talked about using coconut pralines, and it's like a white praline, but instead of pecans, you have the coconut, ground up coconut, or what are they, shredded coconut.
Right.
And I think I've seen those to buy. I don't think I've actually tried one. And one of the shows I listen to all the time, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tooker, she had an interview with Ryan Fertel.
Hmm.
And Ryan is the grandson of Ruth Fertel from Ruth's Chris fame.
Oh, okay.
And so he's like a food historian now. And he had done some research. It was either a book or a article he was doing, and he talked about looking through the old newspapers and he was seeing descriptions, and of course he found the ones like we're talking about and eating going to eat. He talked about the coconut, and then he said there's one called a pink poodle,
Pink
and he could
poodle.
not figure out what a pink poodle was. And so that got me curious, and I found two recipes, and oddly enough they both came from uh, St. James Parish. uh, and it talked about it was a coconut, one of the white coconut pralines,
Right.
but it had red food coloring in it to give it kind of a pink hue. So that's my theory based off of what he found, but I hadn't been able to find where it actually called it that
Yeah.
to verify.
Well, I mean, these are one of those things where again, like the beignets last weekend, you have your root, right? You've got this as the product, right?
Yeah,
This is what we would define as pralines. Now, yes, I've seen variations. I've seen chocolate covered pralines.
yeah,
I've seen
that
some.
seemed like excessive.
Yeah, I was like, there's not enough sugar in there already for you.
Yeah,
But one of the things I was thinking about doing with these, actually, I'm gonna make another batch. Truth be told, I've got more evaporated milk, so that's my excuse for making maybe two more batches. But I'm gonna get some maybe either sprinkles or some red and green frosting, and or maybe both. Who knows? But just
yeah.
load up on the sugar. 'Tis the season to go into a
Hmm.
coma. So we'll. We're gonna. I think that's how I get the kids to eat this stuff, because they see stuff with nuts in it, and it's like, ew, what's that? And
Yeah,
I never hesitated as a kid. I tried one and I was like, okay, I'm hooked. Let's
yeah,
let's go. You know.
yeah,
So
yeah. I was like I said, I was trying to figure out the earliest memories because I don't think my mom ever made these much. That's why I'm thinking it had to be grandma. Um, I don't remember them as much on my mom's side either, but it may, it could have easily been around there, or not even if it wasn't grandma, maybe it was one of our aunts
right.
made it. Um,
I know.
but
I think my mom did. She used to. She's been telling me lately. Look, I don't cook. So your memories of me cooking are somehow fabricated because I don't cook. So I, but anyway, I seem to recall that. But anyway, it's that. Yeah, doesn't matter. Um, so yeah, actually, I want to crack one of these open while we're in the show portion before we go over
yeah,
to our after show. And kind of see what these look like on the inside. And there's nothing really, amazing to look at. It's the texture is all nice in there. It sets all the way through. There's a little bit of darkness here. Whoops, right there. You can see that, but I believe that looks like a pecan to me. So
yeah. It smells. I mean, it's amazing. I think it's got vanilla in there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that that's the thing is that this is that you do put vanilla if you do it from scratch. Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm definitely a believer in this.
Yeah. The combination with the pecan and all the confection, I mean, they just complement each other. It's
yeah.
I mean, it tastes a little, in general, I guess the praline portion or the sugary portion is very sweet and vanilla-y, whatever.
Vanilla-y.
But with that pecan, it's just, I don't know, it's just that's the 1-2 punch there.
Yeah.
And I think you already alluded to the fact that you'll see what they call like praline toppings or pralines on various things. So either they'll crush these up and use them, or maybe they just scrape the side of the pan. But I was talking about a sweet potato, not sweet potato. Yeah, it was sweet potato, I think. Souffle with crumpled praline on top, and it was supposed to be like a side dish at a restaurant.
Huh.
It's really almost more like a dessert with that sweetness and that crunchiness on top, and then the souffle lightness of the sweet potato. So, and the thing about it, I guess you didn't mention too, what do we pay, about $4.50 for these for a box?
Up here they're $6. They're $5.99.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I mean, again, the amount of headache it saves you, and the fact that once you're done, you toss the box and the bag that came in it, and that's it. Cleanup, if you're smart, cleanup is minimal. Don't go waving your spoon around with molten sugar on the end of it. It will spray, and then it'll stick to anything that it comes in contact with. So, but those are, hopefully those are common sense things. Hopefully, you hope it. Look, if you're going to make these, just go about your normal cooking routine, follow the directions on the back of the box. You cannot go wrong. And if you want to go and try some variations, you can do that. I mean, get the root recipe down so you understand what the base is supposed to taste like. And then from there, figure out how you're going to enhance it. But like David said, you could crumble these up on top of like a French vanilla ice cream or just a vanilla bean ice cream. Amazing. And it's way better than pralines and cream that you get in the store, because that's all pre-mixed, and it's not the same. It's not the same. And this gives the ice cream a little bit more texture than you would get off of a pralines and cream, like that type of ice cream. I don't care what ice cream it is. I've never had one where if the solid that's supposed to be in there, if it's supposed to taste like the solid, if you were to break it up over, it's never the same. It's just, they get saturated with dairy products or whatever. This by far is the best way to cook these, and then understand what the flavor profile is, and then work your magic. Play around with it a little bit. It's fun. It's a fun recipe. I think most people like it. The only people that might have an aversion to it are people with nut allergies. and
or
that's
sugar. Can't have too much sugar.
Oh yeah, people who are what's the
Diabetic,
Wilford
maybe.
Brimley diabetes.
Yeah. Now, talking about the pricing, I mean, even though pecans are probably about, I can't remember now. I think we paid $12 for a pound,
Right.
already shelled. So if you were, say half of that or 3/4 of that was going into it, you're probably looking at $6. Looking at, and the condensed milk was, I don't know, probably $1 or something. So you're maybe looking at $10 to $12, depending on where you are, for the whole thing, for a dozen,
Right.
or $1. Let's say $1 a
A
praline.
praline. Yeah.
And now I'm fortunate in the sense that I can go to the Rouses around the corner, and they actually have them already prepackaged in cellophane from somebody in Louisiana.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they're more than $1,
Yep.
and they're at least the same size. They're probably closer in size to yours than to mine, but I don't know. I think you can look on the internet and check out some of the places in the French Quarter, and that's, I think, a popular thing that tourists like to do is they go. There's a couple of praline shops in the quarter itself.
Right.
I believe there's a woman maybe on the North Shore who does some as well, that makes them fresh every day.
Yeah. Right
And
on down in the just off of Jackson Square, just a little bit beyond Cafe du Monde in the French Market. There's Leah's.
yeah,
That's one of them, and then there's another one right close by there too. So if you're in New Orleans proper, in the French Quarter, you can find them. And most gift shops that say, have the funny T-shirts and everything, they all sell them kind of prepackaged too.
But like we said too, the closer you are to the French Quarter and the tourist area, probably the more expensive. Unless if you're getting them from a praline shop, that's a whole different experience altogether, in my opinion, because you're actually getting, somebody's making them handcrafted. But if you're getting them already prepackaged, they may have a markup on it. But for the experience, and especially if you're living away and get a box of these and the fresh ingredient, the fresh nuts, you can have that taste experience.
Yeah, for sure.
For I mean, less than 30 minutes of time between letting it mix and set.
Yep.
And you could, in fact, right now, it'd be in 2 days before Christmas, if you had the means to run around, go get you a box, you could have a batch or two made right before Christmas when everybody shows up. So
That's right. And Phil Robertson has a message for us.
yeah.
Hey, get in there, make you some pralines. It's like I heard your manhood. Help your woman out in the kitchen, see? Look at that.
So that's Phil's contribution to the show.
Yeah. That was I found that, and I thought it was kind of funny because the Duck Dynasty folks, I enjoyed watching the show on cable and their certain witticisms, and so to see Phil cooking it, and I think his episode is called 10-minute pralines.
Yeah. And the very first thing he says in this clip,
dude, get it.
is dude.
Yeah.
And he's looking right at you, the guys, and saying, get your wife out of the kitchen. You can make these and not screw anything up. So no excuses. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Two dudes right here made them, and they turned out mighty fine. So with that said, I think we're going to go into the after show because we are running a wee bit long today. Is something about these sweet things that we cook that often lend themselves to a little bit more discussion. Maybe it's the kind of the neurotoxins that the sugar is imparting on us, and we're going crazy or something like that. I don't know. But we're going to take a quick break, a very quick break, and then when we come back, we'll be in the live show. This is the portion where David and I are just off script. We just talk about anything and everything. We eat in front of you, so if you have a problem with that, don't tune in.
We'll try to keep our mouths closed.
Yeah, we try. But please join us, and you can ask as many questions as you want. Feel free to comment. in Facebook or on YouTube. I get all those comments here, and we'll be happy to answer your questions.
Yeah, I got to do a quick run and turn over I'm making a roast beef.
That's right. That's right.
Tomorrow.
I want to see that video.
It's cooking right now, so I need to go and turn it real quick in between the while the magic's happening.
Okay.
And I'll be right back.
Okay.
So it shouldn't take me too long.
All right, folks. Thanks a lot. Please make sure to like and subscribe. We really appreciate the support. This helps grow the channel, and that's inevitably us being able to do more and more for you. So, thanks again. We'll see you. We have one more week.
And Merry Christmas to everybody.
Oh yeah, and of course. That's right. It's Christmas time. Actually, this is Seattle. It's more like this, so
it's like that in Mobile a lot of times too.
Right. All right, guys, we're going to get on out of here. We'll see you in the after show. Take care.